Hello, I'm Sirlagerlot from Transformers.net. Pleased to meet you, Internet. This is my first video that I put on YouTube, so bear with me if it's, well, rubbish. But it's got me in it, so how can it be? So, Transformers, eh? Those little plastic toys that we used to buy. Who'd have thought we'd be here 26 years later still talking about them, getting angry about them, buying toys, watching films about them and watching cartoons. I'm sure my wife never thought she'd marry someone like me, because, let's face it, I've got everything going on. But, as much as we look back at Transformers and think how much we loved it, it's never been perfect, has it? I mean, some of the decisions made in the production process, some of the decisions made by characters in the cartoons themselves have been questionable at best. And one of my particular banes of contention with the franchise is inappropriate alternate modes. I mean, they've all got one, that's the whole point of Transformers, everyone's got an alternate mode. Some of them are fine. Optimus Prime transforms into a big truck. Megatron transforms into a gun. Okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's a disguise, isn't it? It's appropriate to what he needs, I guess. Maybe something a bit more powerful, but you can't go wrong with a gun. No one's going to think you're a big, evil robot from space. And surely that's the point. The whole point of Transformers, at least in the early days, was robots in disguise. So what is with Mirage? It's a Formula 1 car. Which in itself, I suppose, isn't a problem. I mean, Formula 1 cars, you see them around, no one's going to look at a Formula 1 car and think that's a big robot from space. Again. But it drives on the road. It drives on the road in a convoy of other quite flashy cars. But at least Sunstreaker and Sideswipe are allowed on the road. Yeah, they're going to turn heads, so perhaps Lamborghinis aren't the best alternate mode either, if you're looking for disguise. But a Formula 1 car, especially a Formula 1 car with no bloody driver. I mean, if we was going to do it properly, then yeah, he'd stick to the Formula 1 circuits, going round and round and round and round and round on the track and not really doing anything productive. So I get why they wanted to do something a bit more interesting. Then make him a decent bloody alternate mode. I mean, really, let's be honest. If Teletran 1 was thinking about it, he'd have made all the Transformers turn into Fiat Cinquecentos and have done with it. But he hasn't. He's made them into sports cars and whatnot, which, you know, is fine. Okay, you want to disguise yourself, so let's pick the most outrageous car that you're ever going to see in your day-to-day goings on. But a Formula 1 car is pushing it a little bit much. I don't know why I'm picking on Mirage. We've also got Cosmos, there's a UFO. Big green one like that flying around. I mean, that's not going to go unnoticed, is it? No one's going to look at it and go, yeah, same old, same old. And then we've got Trax as a flying car. I mean, okay, not all the time, admittedly, but he does fly a little bit, and that's not going to go unnoticed either, really. And then the Autobots aren't the only culprits, not at all. I mean, look at Blastoff. I mean, yeah, it's a space shuttle, so you're not really going to be seeing him flying around in and out Heathrow, although cartoons would have you think otherwise, perhaps. But at the end of the day, he's a space shuttle with guns. Not the sort of thing you'd ever really see. What did NASA ever want with guns up in space for? You know, they're not going to help anyone, really. They'll shoot some rocks. But at the end of the day, a space shuttle isn't that bad an alternate mode. I mean, they're Transformers, they come from another planet, they need some sort of space travel. We've got Astro Train, we've got Skylinks as well. But the problem with Blastoff is that he's from a team of combat vehicles. What military force in the world have you ever known that utilises a space shuttle? Certainly not the US Army, certainly not the British Army, certainly not even the Japanese Army or North Korean's Army, and they're pretty mental, let's be honest. That's not the worst thing though. I mean, he's green. Combat green, you know, camouflage green. Now, it almost seems like Hasbro or Takara or whoever in this case had thought, you know, yeah, we've really got to start disguising our Transformers. What's the best way to do that? Camouflage. Yeah, fine, okay, it's worked for all the other Combaticons, but not on a bloody space shuttle. Space isn't exactly well known for being green, is it? It's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Put some thought into it. At least try and hide. Jesus, it makes you wonder. But, you know, alternate modes that stand out aside, it's not always the fact that they just don't make a lot of sense that's the problem, but the fact that they can be a perfectly good alternate mode, but just don't suit the theme that they're based on. I'm talking now about the Predacons. Sure, I mean, leaving out the fact that they transform into big metal animals, which really isn't going to fool anyone down at Marwell Zoo. But forgetting the fact, okay, you can say they're not really there for disguise, they're there for the power that they bring and the fact that they're these really extreme hunters. But that isn't my point. They're hunters. They're the Predacons. Predacons, which means predators. No, why not? They hunt and kill. That's the point. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got Razorclaw. He's a lion. Yeah, alright, fine. We've got Rampage. A tiger. Or something similar to it. He's a cat or something like that. Okay, good. Dive Bomb. He's an eagle. He's a bird of prey. It's not going to do a lot to you. Admittedly, he's going to peck at you a bit and annoy you and get on your tits a little bit. But he's not, you know, he's a bird of prey all the same. There's nothing wrong with that. Headstrong. He's a rhino. And Tantrum is a bull. Let's go back over this last two set. A rhino and a bull. Tell me, in what way are either of those an animal of prey? The only thing either of them hunt is grass. They're vegetarians. Herbivores. They've never hunted anything in their lives. Yeah, no, I'm not disputing that a rhino or a bull is going to do some damage. You know, you don't want to be chased by either of those. You don't want to be attacked by one. You certainly don't want to go start flirting with Mr. Bull's cows in a field. Which really, you think about it, Tantrum is a cow, which makes it sound even more ridiculous. He's cattle. Yeah. Admittedly, you're not going to make any dairy with any fluids you find in his hindquarters, but he's a cow. Which sort of proves the point a bit more, really, doesn't it? It's a stupid mode. I mean, all they do is eat grass. They don't hunt anything, rhinos or bulls. I could catch grass. I've got a garden full of the stuff out there. If you want, I can go grab your handful and show you. It doesn't mean you're a hunter. My cat is more of a hunter than either of those two. The hedgehog that's currently in my back garden is more of a hunter than those two. It catches slugs and snails and eats them. What do rhinos hunt? So, what about bulls? Nothing. Maybe matadors, but really the matadors have only got themselves to blame, haven't they? Now, like I said, I'm not disputing that you're going to get hurt by a rhino or a bull. They are scary. You wouldn't want to go head to head with them. I certainly wouldn't want to take on a bull in the field. But, like I said, they're not hunters. They're not. The Predacons are named the Predacons for a reason. They are supposed to be hunting animals. They're not called the big, scary, proper duff you up animal cons, are they? And admittedly, I can kind of see the problem there, that it's not really a more appropriate name perhaps in that sense, but Predacons just doesn't strike me as a team that would include vegetarians. Linda McCartney would be so proud. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I feel sorry in a way for Tantrum, because if Razorclaw was the sort of boss who insists on all his team members giving a battle cry before they go in, you know, give us your animal roar, and there goes the lion, rah, or whatever, you know, or Dive Bomb squawks like a parrot. But Tantrum, what's he gonna do? Moo. That ain't gonna make any of us tremble in fear, is it? Not really. It's not gonna work. Sort it out. Let's have a crocodile and a wolf and a bear maybe even a badger.